Welcome to yet another inspiring episode of Beyond Shodh. And today we have the distinct honor of welcoming Professor Chetan Solanki, a visionary leader and renowned advocate in the realm of solar energy and sustainability. Professor Solanki is an esteemed educator, researcher, and innovator, and he is currently on an unpaid sabbatical leave from the IIT Bombay. Since November 2020, he has been on the Energy Swaraj Yatra, a remarkable 11-year journey aboard a solar-powered bus dedicated to promoting 100% solar energy adoption and addressing climate change. This journey will continue until 2030, with Professor Solanki pledging not to return home during this period. Times of India, The Hindu, and India Today have dubbed him as the Solar Man of India, and some refers to him as Solar Gandhi. Inspired by the Mahatma Gandhi's principle, Professor Solanki introduced the concept of Energy Swaraj and founded the Energy Swaraj Foundation to promote the global energy independence. At IIT Bombay, he has led the significant solar projects, including the National Center for Photovoltaic Research and Education, and through his Solar Urja through Localization for Sustainability project. He has provided clean light to 7.5 million families. His accolades include IEEE's Global Grand Prize for 1 lakh USD, the Prime Minister's Innovation Award for the Soul Project, first prize in the Solar Chulha Design Challenge by ONGC, 3 Guinness Book World Records, 2 Young Scientist Awards, and the CSIR Science and Technology Award. And he is also recognized as one of the top 15 must-follow thought leaders by LinkedIn. He has also been honored as the Hero of the Environment by Network 18 Media, received the Excellence in RE Skill Award, and been recognized as the Outstanding Green Activist, among many other awards. Recently, he presented the Energy Swaraj model and proposed the AMG approach at the United Nations in Geneva. He is also a TED speaker and has been invited to speak at global corporations such as Google, Shell, Intel, and BlackRock. Professor Solanki chairs the CBSE and AICTE committees for solar curriculum development and is a member of National Focus Group on Environmental Education. He has authored 8 books and published over 100 research papers internationally, in addition to holding 4 US patents. His groundbreaking work has not only advanced solar technology but also empowered countless rural communities, fostering sustainable development and energy independence. A true pioneer, a global thought leader, Professor Solanki's dedication and innovative spirit continues to inspire change worldwide. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Professor Chetan Solanki. Most welcome, sir, to Beyond Shodh, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, sir, please enlighten us about your journey, your vision for sustainability, and could you please share what initially inspired you, your passion for solar energy, and how this transformed into a public movement, and additionally, how this vision is evolving over the years?
Well, I mean, all this question is worth an answer of 1 hour at least, 1 full hour.
Yes.
We already asked all the questions that are relevant. Well, I mean, let me start with the sustainability and how people don't understand sustainability.
Yes.
And when I wrote my book, Energy Swaraj, My Experiments with Solar Truth, I have tried to define what is sustainability. And there, of course, there are many definitions. And in my definition of sustainability, when I say when left-hand side is equal to right-hand side, then it is sustainable. When your salary is equal to your expenses, then you are sustainable. When whatever resources are generated or capacity of earth to generate resource, if we consume only those resources, then we are sustainable. So basically, without disturbing the balance of your income and expenditure, without disturbing balance of your physical capacity and actually the work that you do, without disturbing balance of natural capacity to regenerate resource and use it, if you are all within those limits, then we are sustainable. And what I see and found that we are nowhere close to sustainability.
Yes.
We are consuming much more than what planet Earth can actually afford and supply us. And therefore, I keep giving example. When for example, if there is a marriage function at home, if somebody, because it's a family's function, you're going to work extra hard and you're going to be awake in the nights. You can do it for 2 days, 3 days, maybe 4 days, but fifth day, I'm sure you are going to break down and you'll fall ill. Same thing is happening on the planet, that we are overstretching the resources, and therefore, um, if not today, tomorrow it is going to break down and it's going to fall ill. And if nature is ill, if nature is not behaving properly, if nature loses the balance, we all are going to be in trouble, and we are already in trouble. And we can see what's happening this summer. So I see that all over the world, not only in India, all over the world, very few people actually understand sustainability. Very few. 99% don't, and 1% who understands, they actually don't take enough action of living sustainably. And those who take enough action of living sustainably is a very minuscule number of people. And that is where the my yatra comes in, that I believe that we are all using energy to a great extent. And material use is also a form of energy use. When we use bottle or clothes or toothpaste or petrol or diesel or electricity, we are all actually using energy. And 85% energy comes from the coal, oil, and gas. Even today, 85% energy comes from only sources coal, oil, and gas. So which means that 85% of activity all of us who are doing in our daily life, we are emitting carbon dioxide, because byproduct of coal, oil, and gas use is carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. We are pumping huge amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, which is resulting in global warming and climate change. So in my view, number one, it is all of us who are contributing to the climate change every day, because we all of us are user, rich and poor, American, African, Indian. Number two, it is beyond any government to solve the problem, because government all over the world are elected for short time, 5 years or 4 years. Number three, we are running out of time. We don't have a lot of time, and the breakdown of climate is about to happen. And therefore, we have to treat this current situation an emergency. And because everybody is part of the problem, everybody has to become part of the solution.
Yes.
And how do we bring everybody on board? Keeping that in mind, I thought if Mahatma Gandhi would have been here, today, what he would have done. गांधी जी होते तो क्या करते समस्या को हल करने के लिए? कुछ पद यात्रा करते, कुछ उपवास वगैरह करते, अनशन करते. And from that, this idea came that I should do some yatra which is long enough to connect with the people and tell them what is the right thing to do. The current way is definitely a way of a disaster, and we are all going to become part of it very soon. So that the yatra is trying to bring everybody on board in living sustainability, following the left hand side is equal to right hand side formula, and then being mindful of that. Do your daily activities in a manner that you are least harmful to the nature. That's what I'm trying to do. And I have pledged also not to go home for 11 years, because this problem is not a small problem of just global warming or just climate change. Now, this problem is a problem of sustainability of human life. And whether human life can sustain or not itself is a question. So in that context, it is now or never kind of situation. And that's why I thought I need to spend every day of my life in thinking about the problem and approaches to solve it. So that's why this is how my yatra is designed. And today is already 1295th day of my yatra.
Great, sir. Great initiative. And this must be a very tough decision for you as well as for your family. So,
Of course, I mean, living home when you're married, when you're children. I have two daughters, so leaving three ladies behind and going on yatra is always difficult. For any situation, it is going to be difficult. But because we are in now or never kind of situation, and that's why I thought, and I could convince, and I'm really grateful to my wife and children that they allowed me to do this, and they are continuing supporting that. Because we are now and never kind of situation, it is important that urgent, immediate actions are required, and that's what I'm doing.
So, sir, how do you balance your role as a father, as a husband now? Do you take out some time or they come to meet you?
Yeah, well, first of all, let me confess that I don't think I'm a good father or a good husband. How can somebody not being at home and not supporting in every day's task can be a good husband or a good father? So I think I'm not. But whatever, we definitely meet, and um, one-way traffic is on. So I don't go home, but they can always come to me
Yes,
in
yes.
my bus and where. So we keep meeting each other, and that is how. And of course, mobile technology, WhatsApp calls, that is what we get connected daily. But I don't think I'm contributing anything at home in the daily
So,
work.
so what is the reaction of the little ladies of your house?
Well, I mean,
They must be very proud that
they are
their
very,
father.
they're very supportive. They
Yes.
keep, they never, the first thing is they never cribbed about it. Even more than 3.5 years, they never said what you've done. You should have think, second. I mean, of course, wife sometimes tell that, but children never. I mean, and they are always supportive. And my daughters keep saying, what you're doing is not enough. You have to do more, become
Yes.
more famous and
Yes,
spread
yes.
it faster.
Great, great. So, sir, through my podcast, a small message to all three ladies of your life.
Well, I mean, not only all three ladies of my
Yes.
life, but I would
Your
give
whole
this
family,
message
maybe.
to not only my family, every family, because what happens, this is a global problem, and,
Yes,
and
yes.
every child is going to suffer. So my request to all families and all parents all over the world, not only in India, that please do something and leave behind a livable planet to our children.
Yes.
And to leave the planet livable, you have to not do anything. You don't have to teach your student, your children. Stop teaching if you wish to. Stop sending them to college if you wish to. No problem. They will live happily, provided you leave behind a livable planet.
Yes.
And for the livable planet, what you have to do, you have to make sure that the air, that they can breathe air without any pollution. You have to make sure that they can drink a glass of water without filtering, and you have to make sure that they can eat food without any chemicals. And that's why my request to every parents all over the world, please make sure that at least air, water, and soil is kept as pure as possible, so that your children can live happily and sustainability, because these are base of our life. Without artificial intelligence, without mobile, without education, they can actually live and survive.
Yes.
It's okay.
And we
But
have
without air, water, and
yes.
food, they cannot live and survive. So it's a stupidity that we try to make a progress in everything that is not so essential for life, but we are degrading every resource which is essential for our life. So that is what we have to be mindful, and every parent has to be mindful, because I'm sure every parent is contributing to climate change every single day.
Yes, yes, definitely, sir. And we have seen during the COVID times when all of us are stuck at homes, the nature is breathing.
Yes,
The pollution is not there. The air is clean. So all the problem just lie to us. And
exactly.
if we can become conscious, we can create
And
something.
therefore, the solution is good that you quoted COVID. The solution is not do something. In fact, what we have done, we have not done something. That
Yes,
is the
yes.
solution. And for not doing something, you don't need money. You don't need technology. You don't
Yes.
need time. You can do it right now, because solution lies in not doing something. Not buy extra pair of clothes, do not buy extra vehicle, do not buy extra house, even if you have capacity to buy that.
Yes.
Do not travel a extra mile. Do not use single-use materials. Do not iron your clothes. There are so many things that people not do and be more comfortable themselves. And more importantly, as I said, they will leave behind a planet where their children can live comfortably.
Yes.
Otherwise, the kind of activities that we are doing on this planet, it's nothing less than a crime, that I keep saying. आज का जो आधुनिक पाप है वो कार्बन उत्सर्जन है, और हर पेरेंट्स वो पाप करता है, और अपने बच्चों को भुगतना पड़ेगा. His own children are going to suffer.
Tell us about the different initiatives that are part of Energy Swaraj movement and how they are creating impact uh, towards
Well, I mean,
achieving. the aim
Well,
of?
Energy Swaraj, first of all, let us understand that the whole world is a play of energy. हमारे शास्त्रों में
Yes.
लिखा पूरी दुनिया ऊर्जा का खेल है. So when I use the material or energy directly, so directly and indirectly, everything is made out of energy, right? It has taken some energy. So if I'm using a furniture or chair, the chair has taken some energy to come to the shape. And because I'm using that chair, that energy that has gone into making chair, I am responsible for using that. And that has resulted in carbon dioxide. So for us, everything is energy and energy is everything. And we have gone wrong in playing this game of energy in the world. We have to correct this game of energy. And the right game of energy is adopting energy Swaraj or energy independence or energy, Atmanirbharta. So when we produce and consume our energy, and I mean energy does not mean only electricity or petrol, diesel. When I say energy, it means materials also, clothes also, products also. So when we produce and generate our energy and materials locally, then we are very efficient. Then we are more equitable in the world. Then our wealth is distributed more equally. And there is going to be a lack of peace, and there's going to be environmental restoration, and we are all going to be healthy and happy. So our approach is adopt energy Swaraj. Or in other way, I define the problem and solution as following: that let's go away from the wrong energy, the carbon-based energy, to the right energy, the solar energy, but in the right way. My right way is AMG, and at the right time. So go away from the wrong energy to the right energy in the right way at the right time. And the right way is not converting everything to solar energy. No, that is not the solution. Step number one of using solar energy is don't use solar energy. And people feel surprised because people call me solar man of India. And when what I say is the first step of using solar energy is don't use solar energy. Because every manufacturing technology has a side effect. Because science can grow and technology can grow and economy can grow, the size of the planet cannot grow because the resources on the planet cannot grow. And that's why first thing we have to learn is limiting our consumption. Limit our consumption, and AMGs avoid, minimize, generate. First, you avoid the use of material or energy, then you minimize the use, and then finally generate locally wherever you are. That is the ultimate formula of being sustainable on this planet, following AMG. And that's what we are promoting. We are also developed several tools at Energy Swaraj Foundation. And one of the tools is called energy literacy training. And it's always written on my shirt. I don't know if you can read.
Yes, I always notice that, sir.
I'm energy literate, are you? So it is the illiteracy of energy of the world that has resulted in a problem. We do not understand the game of energy. Most people, educated also, people in Niti Ayog and people in power, they don't understand the game of energy. So first we have to make people energy literate. And even I was not understanding this when I started my yatra. After that only I realized, तो एक्चुअल में जब क्या बोलते हैं सड़क पे उतरते हैं और ठोकरें खाते हैं तब पता चलता है कि असली लाइफ क्या है. So when I started yatra, I realized that before we talk about solar energy, let's talk about energy itself. And then I developed this course called Energy Literacy Training. So every user of energy should be energy literate. And we have to make the whole world energy literate. I call energy literacy as a license to use energy. So unless you're licensed, don't use energy because you're likely to misuse, you're likely to overuse, and you're likely to be to inefficiently use it. So let's do that. Once you become energy literate, then your mind will be trained to think in different way. Then you will think that a single use tissue that we use and throw just like that has also resulted in carbon emission. When I buy a new pair, that also new pair of clothes, it also results in carbon emission. Then you start looking everything from the energy goggle, I call it, and everybody should wear energy goggle. And then you are very sensible about using anything. Then we have a program called Wrinkle Achhe. Every Monday we are asking people to wear non-iron clothes. So that program is teasing your mind, training and triggering your mind to think how I'm consuming energy and where I can save. Then we have reduced electricity consumption. How everybody can take part in climate correction by not wasting energy, reducing energy consumption. And finally, we have to go to solar energy. There is no choice. So we have a program called Ek Kamra Solar Ka. I think the energy literacy is very well adopted. And of course, it's we want 8 billion people or let's say 4 billion people to become energy literate. So we are starting in a good way. That more than 1 billion people have already done it. then other programs are also picking up. And I hope another 1 or 2 years, everybody, the energy Swaraj should become a household name. Climate change solution should become a household name, and everybody should discuss on dinner table what he or she is doing to reduce the energy and material consumption.
Definitely, definitely, sir. So, sir, can we include these energy literacy chapters or in a form of curriculum in every school, each and every school? Can it be doable?
Well, I mean, definitely that's the best thing if you can do it. But doing that itself is a very time-consuming process, right? Adding anything in the curriculum, it goes through the various cycles. And I have been fortunate to be a part of the Environmental Education Committee, National Committee of National Education Policy. But I could figure out that it's not easy at all to get something in curriculum. Uh, and therefore, I believe that we cannot follow the business as usual approaches of put it in curriculum, make policy, develop technologies, grow economy. I think that time is gone.
Yes.
We cannot rely on any such thing, and therefore we have to go directly. Can we use social media? As I said, when it becomes a dinner table topic, then everybody can actually become sensitive. And why do we wait for it to go in curriculum? Why can't we understand that there is something wrong and we have to correct it? As soon as we feel that there is a fever, we go to the doctor, isn't it? And you feel that there's something not correct. Why should we wait for anybody to recommend us? Why can't individual take an action? That is what our approach is always, and therefore I would directly go and approach the schools and colleges and make it a common thing to become energy literate as a license to use energy.
And I also like that clock that is there on the Energy Swaraj. Can this clock be there in each school and offices to
Obviously,
remind that
so
you
the
have to
climate.
take action?
Yeah. No, very good point that our climate clock shows the time left before we touch global warming of 1.5 degrees centigrade, at which irreversible changes are going to start. And it's kind of a Lakshman Rekha, Lakshman Rekha, once you cross it, you cannot come back. So 1.5 degree, the global warming, the climate change will start to become irreversible. And by 2 degree, it will be completely irreversible. So therefore, this clock is a opposite clock. It's a countdown clock. It shows how little time is left, and it is countdown clocks. And it definitely, why schools and college should be there on every chowraha, every building, every government office, every corporate, everywhere it has to be there. Every table it has to be there so that we can figure out the time is ticking. Yeah.
Yes, definitely, sir. Sir, as a global society, we often focus on these issues and often we consider about climate change हो जाएगा तो हम क्या करेंगे. For example, we are building colonies on Mars. Okay, we will have to build new home at Mars, but here we have a beautiful home and we are not spending that million and billions here. Rather, we are spending there. So, what is your opinion and how immediate actions are needed to break this momentum in which the climate action is occurring?
Well, I mean, हिंदी में कहावत है that जब गीदड़ की मौत आती है तो शहर की तरफ भागता है, no? I mean, I feel this is a stupidity that we're trying to build a home somewhere else and we are not able to protect our home, You don't have to do anything. I'm saying again, you don't have to actually develop a technology. You have to not do something, Not doing something is a solution. So it's a crazy idea that, of course, we should, I mean, if there is a bandwidth, we should explore the space and we should go there. Not if there is a bandwidth. But I have three basic questions to everyone that have we as a human being are able to supply clean drinking water to everyone? We as a human, are we able to supply food to everyone? And we as a human being, are we able to supply shelter to everyone? Roti, kapda, makan, even today, it is still a problem, So we have not solved the basics of human life, And then we are talking about going to the moon and Mars. I mean, I feel that it's an imbalanced growth, Our growth is not balanced, Everybody will enjoy the growth if he is economically growing, but also spiritually growing, also morally growing, also academically growing. And when we have a balanced growth, the joy increases, But when it is imbalanced growth, what happens if you have a lot of money, but you're not morally growing, you're not spiritually growing. What you do with the money, you misuse the money.
Yes.
You're going to, buy cars which are going to crash, and you're going to go into all kind of nonsense things. So it is an imbalanced growth, that such as spikes are going. The one dimension we are growing so much, that we are going to the other planet, and the other dimension we are not able to take care of the basics of drinking water supply. Even city like Bangalore can suffer this. Imagine what is
Yes.
going to happen in other places. So it's really, what do you say, self-destruction, methodology of self-destruction. And so the modern humans have put the button on, you press that button and nobody else, I'm going to destroy myself.
Yes.
That is the kind of activity, and that is how I summarize the, if I take a picture of the world today, when I'm actually doing, I'm polluting my own water that I'm going to drink, I'm polluting my own air that I'm going to breathe, and I'm polluting my own soil from which I'm going to eat food, and I am going to eat food, right? My children are going to eat food. Despite that, I'm doing this. So what can be more stupid to pollute the same air that you are only going to breathe,
Yes.
So that's why I feel, and I keep saying in all my lectures, that modern humans are the most stupid animal ever existed on this planet.
So we have lost this consciousness, because one day I'm in agriculture or plant molecular biology field. So we are discussing how agriculture and other things, like we are still not adopting genetic engineered crop, but we are happy to eat pesticide, full of pesticide crops and all that stuff. So one person is there and he's saying that we are doing such and such farming, but there is no crop, no single vegetable that can be grown without lots of pesticide. For example, भिंडी है या आपका गोभी है, इसमें तो इतने पेस्टिसाइड हमें डालने पड़ते हैं जब जाके वो उगता है. तो फार्मर के लिए मजबूरी है कि उसको तो उगाना ही है, उसको तो बेचना ही है, बट वो कोई नहीं सोचता कि इसको खा के क्या क्या आपको हो जाएगा. या कहीं ना कहीं हम वी हैव लॉस्ट दैट कॉन्शियसनेस कि कुछ भी हो जाए, सब पैसा पैसा है. So
But
everything.
that's my question I keep asking in all my audience. Why should we grow GDP? Everybody is busy growing GDP, and we take pride in growing GDP. I said, wow, great. But let me answer me, why should we grow GDP? And they say, sir, because GDP prosperity increases. And then I say, okay, great. From last 20 years, the country's GDP has been growing, 5%, 6%, 7, sometimes 9%. Now tell me, every time when GDP grows by 5%, prosperity is growing by 5%. Shouldn't it increase in smile also by 5%?
Yes.
Is that happening? Are the smiles growing every year? Are we becoming more healthier and happy? No, that's not happening. Rather, depression is increasing, stress is increasing, water quality is going down, poor air quality is going down, global warming is happening, climate change is happening. So, except GDP, all parameters are going in opposite direction. And I don't know why people are not able to take a note of this. How can we continue to do and behave in the same manner? And that is where the problem is, I guess. You're rightly that we have lost the consciousness that actually we are human beings and we are here to actually enjoy, live healthy and happy life, not to accumulate wealth and go to moon and Mars.
Yes. And also, sir, like G7 recently happened, and G20 में भी इंडिया की तरफ से climate change पे काफी जोर दिया गया कि we should work. In every international or global summit, these issues came. Every country is very happy to include these topics. But at the ground reality, are we doing enough action to combat that? I don't think so we are doing, because the situation is same. So how can, at the global level, at the policymakers level, how can they make some strict policies or strict laws so that even, for example, for industries that are coming up, for them also they can make such laws that they will use at least sustainable energy for industries and properly dispose their waste, etc.
Well, I believe, Dr. Sonia, that as I said, the solution lies in not doing much. And therefore, the most governments, they're all busy trying to, focus on the growth. And therefore, talking about degrowth, or talking about less growth is impossible for them because they are elected for showing the growth. What people can do, or what G7 leaders can do, actually make energy literacy a compulsory thing. let people understand that when I'm using energy, it is not my next door. Coal sometime traveling 5,000, 10,000 kilometers, the petrol, diesel traveling 5,000, 10,000 kilometers. It is just not traveling 5,000 kilometers. It is also resulting in a lot of infrastructure use, transportation and pipes and trains and trucks and transmission lines and distribution lines. Not only that, once it results in carbon emission, that remains in the atmosphere for hundreds of years. So single day use of coal is going to be there in the atmosphere of 300 years, 200 years. So that's a disaster. Now, if you show this picture to every person, every citizen who is consuming energy, I think her behavior will automatically, will become normal, more harmonic with nature. So one thing if G7 country leaders can do is actually make energy literacy a compulsory must-do course right now. Leave everything behind. Like in COVID, we stopped doing everything.
Yes.
Let's stop doing everything. Let's first spend 1 week, 2 weeks just understanding what is climate change, why it has happened, when we have to correct it, how we have to correct it, and what I can do it. Let's do that only.
Yes.
Just 1 week. 1 week is good enough for the whole world, not more than that.
एंड सर कोविड ने बड़े अच्छे से हमें सब समझाया कि अगर इंसान बंद है तो सब ठीक हो सकता है, तो एटलीस्ट उसको 2 दिन के लिए, अगर 2 दिन के लिए भी हफ्ते में 2 दिन का भी कर्फ्यू लगा दिया जाए, आई थिंक इट विल रिस्टोर समथिंग.
True.
So sir, as you have done so many initiatives, one initiative I am learning about is about solar lamp, where you not only empowered kids for their learning through solar lamp, but also women empowerment also brought about, and then other areas are also impacted. So can you share some about this project and any one such experience, which again, you must be having many experiences, but any one experience which gave you further strength to carry on and keep doing your movement?
Well, I mean, the whole idea of Energy Swaraj came from my experiment with solar lamp,
Okay.
And initially, when a lot of kerosene used to be used in the country for lighting the wick lamp.
Yes.
वो जो डिब्बी चिमनी होती थी तो बहुत यूज करता था. आई वाज ऑलवेज वरिंग कि क्यों हर सोलर केरोसिन को सोलर लैंप से रिप्लेस नहीं कर सकते. व्हाट आर द प्रॉब्लम्स? But I realized that three things that came that availability, affordability, and repairability of solar product is the problem. And therefore, we designed a program called Solar Urja through localization for sustainability, where local communities are empowered to assemble, local communities sell it, they repair it, local people use it, local economy becomes stronger. And we did this project with women, SNG women, and we trained almost 10,000 women. Many women have started solar shops, some of them started solar factories. So basically, that was really my understanding. And when I wrote this, when I traveled across the world, and after completing this project and winning several awards, I wrote this book called Energy Swaraj, My Experiments with Solar Truth. The manner we use solar energy in the country is also not the right way. Solar energy is not meant for putting hundreds of megawatts of power plant at one place. Solar energy is of being everywhere, and you can actually generate everywhere. And because people are living everywhere. So generate where people are. And because people are living in a distributed manner, because solar energy is available in a distributed manner, it makes logical sense that we generate energy in a distributed manner. And the moment you do this, you're going to actually employ many people. You're going to circulate the money in local economy. You're going to skill people. You're going to make people Atmanirbhar. And when individual and societies and communities are Atmanirbhar, country will become Atmanirbhar. Your dependence on other country will reduce. Your import bill of carbon sources will reduce. You become stronger. Your carbon emission will go down. Your climate change and global warming will be corrected. So I believe this idea of Energy Swaraj is not only energy. It is the solution to all the problems that we face in our life, including employment, women empowerment, rural economy, independence, global warming. All kind of things can be solved if we adopt this. And I have very, very strong experience of doing this locally. And that is how this name also derived, Energy Swaraj, Atmanirbharta in energy, as a very powerful tool. And it's not that India should adopt to energy. No, every country in the world needs to become energy independent because energy is creating a lot of global tensions, and it is resulting in a geopolitical stress because carbon energy is not equally distributed, and solar energy is more equally distributed. So therefore, switching to solar energy in a more localized way is going to be a good situation for every other country on the planet.
Yes, sir, definitely. And also, sir, for example, in this way, you have focused on rural India, but I think major carbon emission problem is in the urban areas. So,
Correct.
how can we increase their involvement so that at least a significant amount of uh, contribution can be or effect can be seen?
Well, I mean, you're right, absolutely, that most energy consumption happens in urban area, and that's why a lot of people somehow feel that my yatra is going into the
Yes.
rural areas, And I keep saying, no, I don't go to rural areas. मैं वहीं जाता हूँ जहाँ बिगड़े हुए लोग पाए जाते हैं, सारे बिगड़े हुए लोग शहरों में पाए जाते हैं.
Yes, yes.
I go to cities only, and I think the solution remains same. That people have to understand the energy, so energy literacy. Then people have to start cut down on their consumption, whatever is wasteful consumption of energy and materials. Then switch slowly. People have to switch to solar energy, 100% solar energy. And when we switch to solar energy 100% following AMG, that avoid, minimize, generate formula, then it becomes Energy Swaraj. So I spend a lot of my time in urban areas and talking to people who are consuming more energy.
So, sir, what are the activities like whenever you travel one city?
Well, when I travel, I normally, the whole idea is that our mind has been trained to think in particular manner. We are trained to think that it is important that we earn money. It is important that we have a big house and multiple cars, and it is important that we wear a tie and suit. So we have been spoiled in last 30 years. Now we have to undo that.
Yes.
And bring a sense to people that look, it's a philosophical thinking, not the technological progress or economic progress that will make our life healthy and happy. And being happy and healthy is ultimate target of ultimate purpose of life. So normally I go there, I talk to them, I give a lecture, 1 hour, 1.5 hour lecture interaction. There is a visit to the bus. Everybody likes to see my bus, and they go around and see and take pictures.
Yes.
But more important than that we discuss with them action for climate correction, the plan of action. And now we have devised kind of steps that every organization can take. So there is a proper plan of action for solving the problem of climate change.
And sir, how if somebody, some industry, some organization, or some individuals want to connect with your organization, what exactly is the process and how they can support you through your mission?
Well, I mean, many ways. Number one, we have, for information, we have our foundation page, energyswaraj.org,
Yes,
where people can get information. If you want to take part in any action, like if you want to do energy literacy course, or if you want to learn solar or lamp assembly or any other course, there is another portal called Energy Swaraj portal. The web address for Energy Swaraj portal is es-pal.org. ES is Energy Swaraj-PAL portal for action learning.org. So on the portal, organizations can register themselves as organization. And each organization has their own unique page on our portal. Each organization can upload their logos. And each organization, when the certificates are released after training, the certificate will also bear the logo of that organization. So we believe that everybody has to be part of this movement. I call it the Energy Swaraj movement. And for that, everybody has to become a partner. And we have designed our philosophy, our activities, our portal in a manner that everybody can become partner with us.
Great, sir. Because a few days back, you have shared one post that every industry has some amount of fund that is allocated for research purpose in that CSR fund, I think. So, but for these initiative, why can't they contribute? So, how can we increase that involvement? Because every industry has.
I
Every
have
industry
always
has.
believed, number one, industries are not educated enough. And I very clearly see when it comes to the understanding of the problem in climate change, when I say 99% people don't understand, I mean that 99% people don't understand, which means doesn't matter if you're a big industry of Tata, Ambani, Birla, this, that, most of their people will not have a correct picture of understanding of the issue. Even if they have the correct picture or right understanding, they will not take right action, because many times we are driven by doing more rather than doing less, and the solution lies in doing less. So they're not going to take right action. And therefore I clearly see there's a lack of education, and I have proposed also, I would like to educate CSR boards of all these major companies so that they understand. Second thing is, we are still, the most of the CSR funds are allocated by some policies, and most policies will talk about basic education, malnutrition, women empowerment, which are important topic, But when it comes to the climate change, hardly any theme will be there, or allocation of funds will be there. But if I see today, it is now becoming a question of survival of human life. So it is the highest amount of funds should be allocated to the climate change and global warming solution, but that is not the case. And that brings a good point that I have always believed, from the day one, and that's why we never write proposal to the government. I believe from the government funding, we cannot create a public movement. I believe that it is public who should support, create a public movement, because it is for public good. And if public feels that it should be done, they will actually contribute. We did not have very good success so far, but I believe in the long run, it will be really great to see people at large supporting the Energy Swaraj movement, not by action, but also by funding some contribution, so that we can all make this world a better and beautiful place to live for ourselves and our future generations.
Yes. So, sir, what is your roadmap to achieve this mission for normal individuals, B for industry, and for the policymakers? Any suggestions for these three groups?
Well, I mean, I keep saying that because every user of energy is contributing to the carbon emission and contributing to the climate change. So I see this as a problem of individuals. And a policymaker is also an individual. Industry owner is also an individual, and a politician is also an individual. So I believe that anybody, whether he is a policymaker or a press people or a parents or a professional or a politician, first my recommendation is you become energy efficient. That individual who is making policy, if he is not behaving himself, how can he write a good policy, right? If industry person is not behaving himself in a sustainable manner, how can he guide his people to become sustainable? If a professor is not behaving himself, how can he guide his student to do that? So I want first those individuals who are the leaders of the society, even including the spiritual leaders, those who are the leaders of the society, they should become the change they want to see in the world, as Mahatma Gandhi said. So first, let that individual become energy literate, let them reduce their consumption of material and energy. And then I think when they start experiencing, they are going to spread it and ask everybody else. But it has to be done in a very, very short time. So my recommendation is simple. Energy game has gone wrong. Let us correct the game of energy. And the way to do is avoid, minimize, and generate AMG. And if you are not going to follow AMG, we'll have to say OMG, oh my God, solar is expensive. Oh my God, rooftop space is not there. Oh my God, policy is not.
Yes. And sir, because tell us a little bit about your research. You have done a lot of work on solar energy in India, especially all the books that I think student read is written by you. So what exactly are we sufficient to support or our dependence on 100% solar energy? And what technology are you very excited about that this can create wonders, or any special areas which uh, you put forward for the researchers to take forward and do innovation in that?
Well, I mean, of course, I mean, when it comes to the solar energy, the sun god is sending us enough solar energy to meet all our requirement. But as Gandhiji said, we can meet our needs, not the greed. So, and to realizing that our needs are limited, but grid is unlimited. We don't need technology, right? It's just growing, as I said, growth in other dimension and understanding life from other dimension and from more spiritual and broader perspective. So that and that spiritual knowledge is in plenty in India, right?
Yes.
The major roots are here, and unfortunately, we are not spiritually as elevated as our students and citizens should be.
Yes.
So let us do that first. That does not require technology. And then I think when it comes to technology, my personal belief is that, look, if you can go to the Mars and if we can send our mission to Moon, and we can fly machines with 100 people sitting inside, I think we can solve every other problem. Technology is not a big deal. It's only the understanding and the lack of understanding is a problem, and that we have to correct. Yeah.
Great, sir. So, sir, during these your yatra, have you got time for research? Are you pursuing your research side by side?
Well, I mean, I would say that the usual sense of research is going to the lab and doing some chemicals, putting some chemicals and hitting some solar cell. That research I'm not doing, but I think I'm doing much bigger research on how humans are not able to understand the problem, even if it is right on their face and it is knocking their door. Why humans are not able to act and react right now, even they can experience that what is happening is not so. I think that is a much bigger research that is happening, and that comes more from experience and experiments with people rather than in a lab. So no, I'm not doing a simple hardcore research, but I think I'm happy to do much more bigger research.
Definitely, sir, and all the best for your this bigger mission for the world. So, sir, lastly, what advice you would give to the young scientists, entrepreneurs who are looking to make difference in the field of renewable energy? Or
Well, I
as
mean,
usual, for everybody, not just for them, yes, for
yeah,
everybody.
I mean, what my simple message is that most entrepreneurs who are working in solar energy, or most people who want to adopt solar energy, their approach to adopt solar energy, both entrepreneur and the individual, is wrong. We all adopt solar energy based on the economics, based on the economic decision. Sasta hai ki nahi, per capita, what is the per unit cost and all. I think that's a wrong way to promote solar energy, and that is wrong way to adopt solar energy. I want to adopt solar energy because solar energy is my life. I survive because of solar energy. I eat food because of solar energy. I breathe because of solar energy. I drink water because of solar energy. Sun is the center of my existence. I exist because of the sun. And Hindi में कहावत है, जहाज का पंछी रास्ता भटक जाए तो वापस जहाज पर आना पड़ता है. We have lost the track. Humanity has lost the track, and we have based 85% of our life based on coal, oil, and gas. तो रास्ता भटक गए. We have to come back 100% on solar energy. So because sun is center of my existence, and I would have to come back to my center, that's why I use solar. That's why entrepreneurs should promote is a solar, not because it is sasta, mehenga, policy, no policy. No, that's wrong approach. And because of that approach, it gets lost in the business sense. And that's why people compare ki ye free bijli hai, to why should I go to solar?
Yes, this
I
is the
think as
point
long
I
as
want
that
to
question, as long as the adoption and promotion of solar energy remains on economic basis, we cannot create energy Swaraj. We cannot adopt to energy Swaraj. Energy Swaraj has to go beyond policies and beyond economic reasoning. Adopt it because it needs to be done. Adopt it because sun is center of our existence. Adopt it because we have to go back to our center for making our life and living our life sustainable.
Yes. Yes, बिल्कुल सही कहा सर आपने, and I hope you will definitely succeed in your mission, and I also want to join in your initiative. So I also want to little bit of my contribution. Thank you so much for taking out time for such an interaction. Thank you so much. It's a memorable interaction for me also.